Hello everyone, this is Linda Talaferro from The T. Today I'm going to be talking about how our past, and what I mean by past, I mean our serious past, our childhood, our early years, impacts our corporate climb, impacts our journey along our career path. My name again is Linda Talaferro, and I have a business called The T, The Extra Effort. And the T, the extra effort, focuses on helping women shift their career paradigm, shift their trajectory, and actually achieve those goals within their corporate climb aspiration and get the seat at the table. A lot of women aspire to the next level, and they run into roadblocks and various situations within their corporate climb, and they're unsure of how to get around them and get over them. So the T helps them do that and achieve those seats at the table, as I mentioned. The purpose of this live today, and the reason why I'm actually doing it in the middle of my day, as you can see I'm in my office, is because I had a meeting with a mentor today, and some of the conversation that we had was a repeat of my client session that I had last night with one of the clients from the T. And it's something that has repetitively shown up either in when I'm working with my clientele or here at Meritor in my 9 to 5 when I'm working with young women as a mentor, or even those women that I meet outside of Meritor. This repeatedly shows up. So I felt compelled to hold a live today and to talk about it. And so I would ask you this question. Do you understand, or have you become aware, how your past impacts your career, actually impacts how you show up, how you operate day to day in your 9 to 5? So I'll give you some examples using my client and also the mentor that I just mentioned. These two young ladies, one of them has this need to constantly prove herself. I mean, over and over again, she has this belief that one, she's not good enough, translates to her not being worthy of the role that she has. And so therefore, in order to try to get to that place of being good enough, and also, am I worthy? She constantly believes she has to prove herself over and over again. She's just not good enough. And then the other person I spoke to today, her issue is, I can advocate for everybody else. I can be there for everyone else. I can be a bear when I need to for everybody else. But I can't for me. I struggle to even share with you, my mentor, or even someone else, what I'm good at, why I even deserve to be here. And so as I started talking to these women, and we really dug deep into what that was about, what showed up was, for one, the one person who constantly needs to prove herself, she's never had validation growing up. Never had anybody tell her that she was good at what she did, that she was beautiful, that she was loved. Basically never told her she was enough. And then the other young lady that I've been working with had a lot of negative occurrences happen in her life. A lot of close people died. She had deaths. That really impacted on and desensitized her to death. She now understands that connects to the fact that she pretty much doesn't care, one, and she has this sense that, why am I going to care or work hard, because I'm probably not going to be around long. Now, I know these two things are pretty dark and deep, but I want to share this because I, too, had some issues when I was going through my corporate ladder climb to this VP position I have today, that I had to connect with, understand, and deal with, that then allowed me to be totally present so that I could be successful. Those were not being good enough. The perfectionism, which you've heard me talk about in some past lives about perfectionism. Striving constantly to hold myself accountable into a bar that was absolutely ridiculous, that caused headaches, caused nervous stomach, caused tons of issues. You know, I was raised in an environment where, I mean, you couldn't breathe hardly sometimes, let alone make a mistake. And, you know, my mother did the best she could. She did what she knew to be best because she was determined that I was going to have a successful life and career. So that was her only mechanism of doing it. It was through a strict household. But it turned me into this nervous person that could hardly breathe. And that followed me. That sense of not enough, that sense of needing to be perfect followed me throughout my early years of my career. And it wasn't until I started connecting the dots in that, it wasn't until I started looking back and reflecting and addressing that and understanding what it all meant and where it came from, that I then was able to get comfortable in my own skin, then was able to show up in a room confident, standing completely squarely in myself. And as Brene Brown would say, totally daring greatly, being vulnerable to it, and then learning from it and growing from it. I'm telling you, ladies, until we face some of those dark places, some of those challenges from our past, we're not going to be able to take that next level step in our career. I know some of you may not have even believed that there was a connection between the two, but there is a huge connection between what has happened to us in our personal past lives to how we show up in our professional lives. Because we are who we are. And every aspect of us is made up of everything that happens to us. So I implore you, if you're struggling with that sense of, am I good enough? If you are on that perfectionism grind, which I'm going to tell you, it'll be like a hamster in a wheel of his cage. You will constantly ride that perfectionism wheel. If you're struggling with that, if you're not wondering why you can't get to the next level and you've tried everything, it's probably time to take a deep look into who you are as a person, how you got there, meaning those things that happened in the past, and just facing the dark side of it and working through it and around it, understanding that that is your past for a reason that does not define your future, definitely doesn't even define your present today. You know, there were times that I would write in journals, I've got journals for days, that I would write to unload what I was thinking and to have something that I could reflect back on. And to see where my journey was, I would have to write my negative thoughts as well as the affirmations to myself. Excuse me, post-it notes, constantly telling myself, connecting myself with someone who loved me for me and could be honest with me, but also be there for me to help me through that journey and to help for that positive the positive affirmations and reconnections, because we can't do it alone. No man's an island. In our personal lives, as we're trying to become our greater selves, just like in our professional lives, as we are trying to totally live and walk in where we are supposed to be at the level that we're supposed to be. It doesn't happen alone. So I would say connect with someone that can work with you, that can love you through it and get you to the other side. And I guarantee you, just like I told my client last night, and she and I have been working through this. I think last night was week 5 of the 12-week engagement that we are on, and she is making huge strides in her level of comfortness and her inability to constantly prove. She's getting a lot of positive feedback via the tools we're using. So it can be done. And the young lady that I met with today, she's going to take some personal steps in her life to get some assistance externally with dealing with all the death, and then she agreed to read a couple books that I've given her, and then she and I are going to work on how we can translate that into turning her career around and how she shows up here at Meritor. So how does our past affect our life? How is it impacted? How's important? It is the foundational critical piece to the success and the next level, the ability to get to the next level. And the faster we recognize it, the quicker we get on top of it, we'll quit spinning in that wheel like a hamster, and we'll start to see those positive moves forward, and then upward in our career. So I thank you for taking some time out and listening to this video that I offered today. It's been something, like I said, that has been showing up consistently as I'm working with women. So I wanted to get this out here and document it. So thank you for taking the time to listen to it. I appreciate if you could take some time and like this Facebook page, because there'll be more coming. Love to stay connected with you, so like my page. And again, don't be afraid of it. Embrace it. It's who you are. And the better you understand who you are and why you are who you are, the better you can then grow and take charge of who you become. Have a great day.